Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. We're here with Anthony Crooks, the creator of Glory Days Boxing, and let's do that. Knock that off, as we're gonna have stereo sound in a second. And Glory Days college football coming soon. Also a football coach and a good friend of the community, Bleacher Bums Gaming. First of all, awesome to have you here. It's going to be about a 45-minute chat. Anthony's got about 45 minutes or his wife's going to kill me. That's it. 45 minutes.
Kill me first, Al.
I know. And then I have time to get away. And the dog will cause a little distraction on that way. So thank you for joining us. What did you think? We're going to talk a little bit first about the Anthony Joshua Usyk fight. I was disappointed in Joshua's performance. That's an understatement. If anyone listened to my little live feed that I did, what were your thoughts? And if you're not a member of Glory Days Boxing Facebook group page, you should be, even if you don't own the game, but I highly recommend the game. A lot of fun. It goes with whatever tabletop game you have. It can be purchased on sidelifestrategy.com. The dog has entered the room. And hello, Eva. She's down here somewhere. Eva, you want to say hello? What are you going to lay down there? Anyway, so the puppy up. No? Okay. So the I almost did a pre-play for it, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But anyway, thank you very much, Anthony. What were your thoughts on the fight? Because you actually had a really good thought process on it. I agreed with you. I just didn't think he couldn't execute it for that long. And he did.
Yeah, I was surprised, but not surprised. As I indicated, I thought Usyk would give AJ trouble. I just thought AJ would be, and AJ touts his boxing IQ. I thought he would be able to figure him out at some point during the fight and be able to, come on late in the second half and win a unanimous decision. He looked like he was getting there in the middle rounds. Had some good moments in the middle rounds, and then Usyk, to me, just outwilled him, especially in the championship rounds. So.
Absolutely. What was surprising to me, my thought process was this. I thought Joshua would jump on him. I don't mean, again, like Louis Firpo, Jack Dempsey, if you know boxing. I just thought he'd be more aggressive, try to force him back, sort of like Chisora did in that fight, and bang the body. I thought he didn't do that. I thought his most effective punches were his body shots. He was really slow with his hands, and a lot of that had to do with he kept waiting too long because Usyk had great movement. He kept it up for the whole fight, and there were points of the fight, late in the fight, he felt so good about himself. He pressed a little more than I thought he was going to. Gave Joshua opportunities that Joshua could not cash in. The right hand, Usyk got hit because he had that cut. He had that abrasion here. And then like here, or like here. So he got hit. Joshua got hit. I want to say around round 4 or 5, you started seeing some marking here, and then other eyes started to puff up. Now, I'm watching the fight with no sound on, obviously, because of what I was doing, right? Mm-hmm. Did they ever, in his corner, say, hey, bang the body, get more aggressive? I never saw them use the end swell until I thought it was too late. And again, I'm not placing blame, though I was upset with his corner. Usyk won the fight. He did beautifully. Can't take nothing away from him. But was there anything in the corner, Anthony, that you picked up on that they're saying, like urgency? They never looked urgent from what I saw. And I'm not listening, so I don't know.
They surprisingly did not spend a lot of time with the corner commentary.
Okay.
Most of the time when they were in Usyk's corner, they didn't even translate. I think they translated one round. And if I recall, they were only in Joshua's corner where you could hear commentary a couple of times. So it's I didn't hear it addressed. No.
Okay. Again, that's like, because when I was watching, it just, when I did look over and they had comment, in the corner, it just didn't look, there was no urgency. Now, when they got to a certain point in the fight, you could see Joshua's face. Like he was like, I'm in trouble. He just looked like he was defeated. And if you saw the end of the fight, imagine if they gave him the decision after the guy slumping over in his corner looked like he's going to throw up and he's all beat up. And he landed punches, obviously, because like he lumped up Usyk around the eyes a bit. But Usyk, man, you called it, Anthony. I knew he was a good boxer, very dominant cruiserweight, but I was not impressed when he fought Chisora. I just wasn't.
You know, styles make fights,
Yep.
and Chisora, you know, like we discussed pre-chat, he's nowhere near as skilled as Joshua. Joshua is the best athlete in the heavyweight division, but athletes don't make a good boxer necessarily. But yeah, I would have hoped he had come forward, but what I was worried about pre-fight was he would still be tentative. And it's been that way since Ruiz won. He did a great job outboxing Ruiz in the second fight, but that was as much on Ruiz, who came into that fight horribly
out of shape.
And, you know, in no place to put pressure on him. And I expected him to come forward a little bit more in this fight. And he had moments, like I said, in the middle rounds, but he never really did attack to me.
No.
It was one punch, two punch, you know, a couple of jabs. And, you know, as we get in, we'll talk about the one critical mistake Joshua made strategy-wise or technique-wise the whole fight, which I think cost him. But yeah, I kind of expected more. I knew, like I said, Usyk would give him trouble. Hey, what's up, Matt? With his footwork. And it must be a Ukrainian thing, because Usyk, if you compare him, and I think I put it on the website or the forum.
Yes, you did.
If you compare him to Lomachenko, he's obviously not that level with the footwork, but for a man his size, his footwork is very reminiscent of Lomachenko, and you don't see other heavyweights do that, not even Fury, who was pretty good. Al absolutely loves Petco over Fenway. We've talked about that.
I said I thought Joshua would win with an 8 stoppage, because I thought he would bang the body and just wear him down. Usyk, I know he came in heavier, but I didn't watch. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to find some articles tomorrow. You know, they'll have articles up or interviews. He just waited. He fell into Usyk's game where he's trying to outthink Usyk. He doesn't flow. Unlike Glory Days Boxing, which is a wonderful tabletop game that flows marvelously, Anthony Joshua does not flow. You could see him trying to think way too much. And then, then to me, my opinion, at a certain point, pure frustration sets in. His punches were slow, and he got hit a lot, more than I thought he was going to get hit. And it wasn't always pretty by Usyk. It's the movement was pretty. And yeah, not like Lomachenko movement or Ali movement, but in, out. And I don't mean straight up, because he'd go in, get his punches off, sidestep one way or the other. Sometimes he went straight back, but he kind of stayed low. But he always came in with when he came in 2 punches, 3 punches, 4 punches, and he was constantly, he might throw 4 and only 1 lands. He might throw and he very rarely threw 5, but you know what I mean? He threw multiple punches and only maybe 1 gets through, 2 get through, but he was scoring. And there was a point in the 4th, was it the 4th round? He clipped Joshua. And you see Joshua do that, and I went, we're in trouble. That's when I knew we're in trouble.
He got that Tommy Hearn smile on his face when that happened.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. And it's, you know, he disrupted Joshua's timing. And the one technical thing he did, which is boxing 101, when you have 2 guys, a southpaw fight, an orthodox fighter, you need to get your lead foot outside of the other guys. Usyk had his foot outside of Joshua's left foot pretty much the entire fight. And when he stumbled him, I think it was 5th or 6th, you know, it wasn't really a clean punch. But
no, I saw it after, because they kind of went to touch gloves. I said, oh, he must have stepped on someone must have stepped on someone's foot, because he didn't even jump on, you know, like he just, okay.
But, you know, for someone with a self-professed high boxing IQ, I mean, that's rule number 1. When you fight a southpaw, you have to keep your left foot outside of his right foot, because otherwise you're in the sweet spot for the straight left.
There's 2 ways to fight a southpaw.
Yeah.
The way you just said, keep your foot outside the, you know, his foot, the way you just said it, or you just pressure the crap out of him and get on top of him, and it doesn't matter if he's lefty or righty. I really wish Joshua had come out through. He did something nice in the beginning, a little bit. He threw the jab to the chest, and he actually hit him with a nice jab, and you saw Usyk back up because he hit him with the. Then a little bit later, he hit him on the arm like he was just hitting him. Just hit him. Just keep touching him. Back him to the ropes, cut off the ring, and then rip to the body. When he threw to the body, the few times he did, to me, I thought Usyk, those were the punches he really felt. With a body shot, you just see him go, oh, wow. You know.
Well, and then the other thing there, he was longer than Usyk, and you can't move your body. You can move your head, you can bend from the waist, but your body's not going to move. And I thought he could have done a much better job working levels, even with the jab where he goes down and comes up. And then jab to the head, right hand to the body, which he did a couple of times.
He did a couple of times. I was saying that the same thing, Anthony. Jab, feint with the right, and then rip a left to the body, or just go to the body with the right hand. He did it a couple of times. But again, I'm not taking nothing away from Usyk. That was a brilliant fight plan that he executed to perfection. He totally frustrated his opponent, Anthony Joshua. What do you, and again, he put on 20 pounds of weight, I believe, from what I read in the past couple of days.
Yeah.
Not in the past couple of days, but I mean through training. So he was heavier than the Chisora fight. He also said I remember watching after the Chisora fight, which I was upset because I thought Chisora, me personally, not to make this a Derek Chisora thing, and I was never a fan of his when he was younger, but for some reason I like him now because he's older, and I think he tries harder. Where before he got a little, when he was younger, a little, I don't want to say lazy, he didn't throw enough punches at time. Now, Chisora just out-muscled him. Mm-hmm. And I thought if AJ did some of that, he would have been successful and wore him down. I mean, I even said in my live stream, before the fight, again, there's a lot of time to kill from the co-main event to the main event, which annoys me to no end. I understand the co-main event ended in the third round. I get that. It shouldn't take an hour and something to get the fighters in after that, for God's sakes. But I thought if they did get into a clinch, that my feeling was that Joshua should have forced him back to the ropes, show him I'm stronger. But you know how sometimes you get that little cute chick, you put your forearm right in the guy's. Do it until the ref says, hey, don't do that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was doing that. And then stop. But he never showed he was the bigger guy.
It was a very clean fight that way. I think I counted 3 or 4 clinches the entire fight. And the one time they clinched, I was telling you offline, it was Usyk who bullied him or walked him back to the ropes. I was like, geez. I think Joshua needed to fight him the way Chris Arreola would have fought him. Make it a street fight. But that's just not in his DNA.
Yeah.
He tried to outbox him, and Usyk outboxed him.
I couldn't remember the other Mexican American fighter because I said Anthony Ruiz had just beaten, and I couldn't remember Chris Arreola. Who has a lot of talent. Another guy doesn't train too hard. So we were disappointed in Anthony Joshua's effort. I'm sure he is too. But I have to say this: the atmosphere and the beauty of an outdoor fight at a football stadium, to all you rest of you people, soccer. And Tottenham, that's your favorite team, correct? The Spurs? Yes. Harry Kane, right?
Harry Kane.
But it was, I didn't know at first if it was half full, like they only did half of the stadium. When they showed the overhead shot, I said to Teresa, I said, this is the whole stadium.
Yeah.
The whole stadium. This is beautiful. I have goosebumps talking about it now because that's the way. I love fights from the UK with a passion because the UK fans bring it. They enjoy the fights. They support the fights. I honestly wish that some of these Tyson Fury bouts were in the UK, and because.
Think about what a Joshua Fury fight would have done over there.
Here's my next subject, and then we can just because I was talking to Teresa on the phone because she's watching her son, like I said in the football game they're playing tonight, and I said, this is why no one's ever learned from Tommy Morrison. Take the big money fight when you can. not that Joshua's poor. He has a ton of money, but a fight in the UK with Tyson Fury. Go ahead, Anthony. Describe a fight in the UK with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. You sell out whatever stadium 10 times before this fight.
It would be a national holiday. They would have sold out Wembley. The arena would have been sold out with people watching on pay-per-view. And hey, what's up, Dave? And the sad part is this fight kind of eliminates that from probably ever happening.
I agree.
I'll tell you too, not just because of the loss, but Usyk is a smaller version of Tyson Fury, not exact same skill set, but in the way he fights.
Similar skills, though.
And with the way Joshua fought Usyk, Fury would have stopped him in 7 or 8 today.
Oh,
for sure.
Fury would have mugged him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he would have just Fury would have sensed when he was weak, and then like he did with Deontay Wilder, would have took him out.
Yeah.
Fury to me is the best heavyweight out there. And that's not going over the, board with that. Just my opinion. He is so natural with what he does that he beat, again, I forget which Klitschko, but he had the best line after he beat Klitschko. I watched the press conference. My dad and we watched that fight. And it wasn't the most thrilling fight, but what Fury did in that fight just made Klitschko look like Klitschko never touched him. And he just totally outboxed him. Won every round. Again, they might have gave some rounds to Klitschko. In reality, he didn't win a round, in my opinion. And at the press conference, and Fury wasn't in the best shape, right? And Klitschko says, "I'll knock you out next time." And Fury stands up, pulls up his shirt. He goes, "You just lost to a fat man." He goes, "What happens when I'm in shape?" He goes, "I'll tell you what happens. I'll knock you out." He goes, he just likes to fight, and I hope he has those personal issues, and I hope he's done with that because he seems like an okay guy. Can I ask you
character?
He's definitely, I think he's good for the sport. I just wish he doesn't self-destruct at times for his own well-being. Can I ask you a question? What happened to Hughie Fury, his cousin? He was a decent fighter.
He's what you'd call a gatekeeper. I mean, he was like Tyson Fury light.
Yeah.
He's not going. I mean, even Tommy is going to be the same way. It's their family kind of has the fight game in their blood. And even Tyson he's not a pretty boxer. He's just very intuitive.
He's effective.
He has great instinct for the sport. And, he looks awkward. He looks sloppy at times, but he's, like you said, he's effective because he knows distance well, and he anticipates very well. You know? And so that's something you can't teach. You have to have.
I didn't look in it. No, he has the instincts where you have always said Anthony Joshua doesn't really like to box. He does it. I think you said this. And if you didn't, please correct me. Anthony Joshua likes it because he makes money and he likes the fame, which is fine, but he does not have the instinct. You just see it. He's like, when he was fighting Usyk, all I kept thinking was, as I was doing my little live show with the fight, I didn't say it. It's like dancing with numbers or paint. You could see him trying to say, okay, I gotta do this. And he was just the only time he looked effective when he banged the body a bit. We just wound up and banged.
It's a really good analogy. He looked very robotic in this times. He did.
Yes. It was just, and it's he's body beautiful. He's a handsome guy. He's a big guy. He's good. He's good for boxing. He can punch. But man, he was exposed very bad. And I think if it was Fury, I agree with you totally. Fury would have took him out. At the end, I thought Usyk, if he had 35, 40 more seconds, he was going to drop him. But I think you're right. He kind of pulled up a bit, and which I didn't understand. But he won the fight fair and square. And again, if you don't know, I was rooting for Anthony Joshua. It actually comes through in my broadcast where I'm sorry, I'm starting to become biased here. But what is up now? You think they have a rematch clause? A lot of these guys,
they actually, there is a rematch clause. They asked Usyk about that after the fight.
Oh, did they? Because again,
he said at this point he's been away from his family 9 months. He acknowledged the clause, but says right now he's not even thinking about that. He wants to get back home and spend some time. And I don't know when we'll see it. And that's the other thing about Usyk. He has not been the most active
He's
fighter.
not, no, even at a cruiserweight, he was not an active fighter.
This was his 19th fight.
Yeah, he annihilated other cruiserweights, but that's why he only had, well, okay, what's that? 19 fights now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Eva, what did you hear? Someone's walking by the house, dog's barking. So if Joshua does not get the rematch in a timely fashion, how does he now? You know who's licking his chops now because he sees a big money domestic fight? Dillian White, a rematch with Anthony Joshua. Now that fight becomes very interesting.
And he's fighting. He's got a fight coming up with.
Yep. I can't remember.
Wallen.
Yes, he should.
If he wants to be in the conversation, he should stop him in 5 or 6 rounds.
He was Dillian White, excuse me, very impressive in the rematch with Povetkin. He avenged it the way you should avenge it. He just looked tremendous. I guess Chisora's got a rematch with Parker. I'm actually looking forward to that. I wonder if they could screw Chisora in a third fight. As I thought he beat Parker. I mean, I don't know why they dislike that guy so much. I mean, maybe I don't know. But maybe he rubs people the wrong way. Probably does. Now that I think about it, so let's just play devil's advocate here, because what you said, Usyk's not an active fighter, even to today's standards, right? We're not talking old school. We're saying today's standards. So Anthony Joshua, he's lost. He has a rematch clause. Is he still, say Tyson Fury wins, right? Is that still, if Joshua takes some sort of mediocre fight in between, or do you not even risk that? You make up some sort of excuse that, Joshua was a little off and blah, blah, blah. And do you think they could still make that fight for good money?
It would still be a big fight in England. I don't think Fury is going to feel any need to make that fight now. I think if Fury gets past Wilder, he'll be willing to wait for Usyk. And like we talked about, Fury is a bigger version of Usyk, a varying skill set, but Fury would beat Usyk. And
I don't see Usyk being able to do the darting in the same way.
He's not going to get inside against Fury like he did against Joshua.
And he did that. So it was, again, that's my terminology, darting in, get your punches and get out. And he did it. And he not always beautiful doing it, but he was effective. He throw 4, land 2. He throw 3, land 1. He throw 4, land 1.
He set it up a lot early in the fight with his feinting. His feinting was confusing Joshua. He was reacting to it a lot early on, and that sets up, when you do that sets up opportunities to jump in and score. He took advantage of that. He's not going to do that to Fury, but I do think Usyk at this point, with the skills he showed today, I think he beats Wilder, honestly, because Wilder's
the one thing Wilder has more than Joshua, a killer instinct. I think Wilder. I agree. If Usyk can channel the same fight plan and the same, he would give Wilder a nightmare, because Wilder backs up straight. He's another good athletic type fighter, but really does a lot of stuff. Very
one-dimensional, very wide in his stance.
Yep.
And supposedly that's fixed, but he's done that. He's gotten away with that for so long that if he gets in trouble in a fight, he's going to revert back to what he's comfortable doing. Hey, what's up, Chris and Todd? I have not watched that, surprisingly enough. I've watched most boxing documentaries out there, but I've not watched that one.
The thing with Anthony Joshua, they should have done everything they could, because there was a rumor they were going to have the Tyson Fury fight a while back, and then COVID, but still there was that. Both camps should have made that fight, because it would have been more money than what they made today and what they're going to make in October.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
they're never going to make that money again.
No. And again, it's the Tommy Morrison rule of thumb. Take the big money fight. Don't take the tune-up for $1 million and get knocked out on ESPN, Tommy. God rest his soul. Bad move on his part and his people's part. All right, so AJ's lost. who knows what's in his future? He has a rematch clause. Odds are that's going to take a long time. Does he? And then we'll move on to something. I know we don't have much more. If you're in AJ's camp, right? You're his management. Do you have him? Rematch isn't coming in a timely fashion. Does he take a fight with possibly Dillian White if White defeats his opponent coming up?
I actually see if White beats Wallen, which he should, and Fury gets by Wilder, which I think he will again.
Oh, I see where you're going at.
White's going to be next in line for Fury. That's a big money fight in England too.
Absolutely. Very interesting fight. I think Fury wins that, but that's a very interesting fight.
So I could see Joshua, if that rematch doesn't come timely, he could take on a Chris Arreola would probably be a good fight for him. And that would be a fight that would test him too, because Arreola is such a brawler. But there's really no other attractive fights out there for AJ right now, except
what about this? Because they can promote this if they do it right. If Tyson Fury defeats Deontay Wilder by whatever, knockout, whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, if you can sit there and go, well, these two guys are coming off losses. This is it. This is a crossroads fight. You could promote that. Dangerous fight for both. Interesting fight. I think you can make money on that fight. I don't know if they do it, but
Wilder Joshua.
Yeah.
I at one point I thought Wilder would have no chance to beat Joshua. I don't know that Joshua's mindset now.
Yeah.
I think Wilder would stop him, to be honest with you. I don't know how much
the punching, like if he catches him good, then Joshua basically goes into a shell. And
I don't know how much skin he has left in the fight game, quite honestly. And he's a very, like someone mentioned in the chat, I think D. Scott Howard. He is a very, very charming guy. He's intelligent. He's made money. Nice guy, super nice guy.
That's what I say.
You need a little bit of a dirtbag in you to be a boxer. You honestly do. And I think Joshua has opportunities outside of the fight game that he can make money and make a living off of. So I don't know how long he stays after this, to be honest.
Well, now so quickly do the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight October 8th, 6th, whatever, early October. I don't remember the exact date. Do you see? It was funny. I read some articles about that fight. Deontay Wilder's changed trainers. Not shocking, but I guess he's difficult to train. Not shocking again either. Do you? And you mentioned already, you can train some way, regardless of whatever fighter. You can try to change him. When you get hit and you're in deep poop or something, you revert back to what you do most of the time because it's just your instinct. You're not okay. I got to do this. If I was training Deontay Wilder, the one I would teach him just a couple of. I don't think I can teach him not to back up head straight. I just don't. I think he just does it all the time. I try to get, but I'd like him to feint with the right hand, right, and then come with the left hook body, then up to the head. It's such an effective punch if you can do that.
Wilder has no left hook in his arsenal either, and that's. He's training with Mark Breland, and we had when we interviewed Keisha McLeod, she trained with.
I'll be back because Wonder Mutt has just knocked something over trying to eat the cat food. So Anthony, take the helm.
I'll take the helm. But yeah, I don't see Breland would have been a better trainer for Wilder if he had listened, and I don't see things changing when. He gets in a fight where he gets hit, backed up, and has to resort to basically his old ways. He just goes back to that straight in and out fighter, trying to land a big right hand, not putting punches together. So while Al is gone, I'm going to catch up on the chat. So on the I will definitely check the Ali documentary out. The Jack Johnson documentary, Unforgivable Blackness, was absolutely one of the best boxing documentaries out there. And it really gave you a good appreciation of the man outside of the ring. Jack Johnson was really kind of a Renaissance man. He was proficient on the piano, played musical instruments, a very accomplished cook from all accounts in that time period as well. And he basically was Floyd Mayweather in a time where it was dangerous to be Floyd Mayweather in America, given the racial climate of that time in the States. So he definitely someone who lived life on his own terms. And if Jack Johnson was fighting alive today, people would look at him, I think, in similar reverence to, the way they look at Ali, where he's a national treasure. He was that kind of fighter, both skilled and a big personality outside of the ring, which I think the media today would eat up if he was fighting in this point in time. So let's check for any other commentary here.
All right, I'm back.
You're back. I was just talking a little bit about Unforgivable Blackness, the Jack Johnson documentary, which is a highly recommended.
Oh, the Jack Johnson.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Can't find the dog. She's hiding. She knows she did bad. I have no clue where the hell the dog is. I can hear her. There she comes. Did you do that? Oh God. Good news is it didn't break.
I've got some fight posters. I've got like a Jack Johnson, James Jeffries fight poster from July 4th, 1910.
Nice.
I've got a very nice still picture framed large of the Dempsey Willard fight. And I have some old boxing tobacco cards, if I can find them really quick.
Those are cool. I've seen those online. So
I think these are my T109 tobacco baseball cards.
Nice.
Which are also nice. Yeah, if I can find them in a couple of seconds here.
That's okay.
I don't know where I have them.
Is it the cat who knocked that stuff over, Eva?
Yeah. No, but I've got some old boxing tobacco cards. That's, those are some of the oldest things I own. I don't really own a lot of modern day merchandise. It's a replica of that fight poster, but it is a limited reprint. So it's got a little bit of value, but not as much as the original. But yeah, I like memorabilia in general. I like older stuff around the turn of the century. And
especially the Jack Johnson Jeffries fight on 4th of July, mega event.
I also, not boxing related, but it's cool. I have a copy of Babe Ruth's 1931 contract, which a friend of the channel sent to me, which is pretty cool too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So quickly back to the boxing, and then we'll go to whatever you'd like to talk to in the final moments here. I'd like to see Fury win. I don't see. I picked Wilder in the first two fights. Obviously, the first fight was a draw. Second fight, Fury knocked him out. And I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear any excuses from people who came up with all kinds of. And I was rooting for Deontay Wilder. He lost. He got destroyed. He got mugged. It was Roberto Duran, Davey Moore at Madison Square Garden. That's how bad he got mugged. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can find that fight on YouTube. Roberto Duran, Davey Moore, where Roberto Duran mugged him. I don't see Wilder able to change too much. The only way he wins, he lands a big punch, follows it up, and this time Fury doesn't get up.
I see him doing some new things early. I really do think he'll try and incorporate a hook, which he needs a hook. He needs to be able to
absolutely
come back with a hook off the right hand, because he just, again, so one-dimensional. But like we talked about, once Fury tags him, he's going to revert back. I can't see someone who's had over 30 fights just transforming into a completely different fighter for the entire 12 rounds. I just don't.
Very few fighters have.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, there are some, I can't think of, there are some who adapt to a different style, still incorporating. Arturo Gatti, I remember when they tried to make him a boxer puncher. I'm like, yeah, no, not a good idea. Just you took his aggressiveness away, and now he's even more of a human punching bag. God rest his soul. So I agree with that.
One fighter that did transform a little bit as he got up in weight class was Vinnie Posienza.
Yes.
He became a much.
He actually was a very slick boxer.
Yeah, more technical
with
boxer.
Limited technician, with limited good talent, but not upper echelon talent.
Yeah.
And I remember he actually took a round from Roy Jones when they fought. Then I think Jones up knocked him out in the 6th or 7th. I think it was the 6th. But there was one round that I'm like, wow, he took a round from Roy Jones. That's a great point. That's one of them. Roberto Duran, well, he could do anything, but as he got older, he really became a really slick counter puncher, picking his spots. And then if he had you hurt, he'd go after you. So.
Yeah, and someone who actually could do that throughout their career, transform between a couple of different styles, was Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns, very underrated boxer. He
tremendous boxer.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
He was outbox. I was just going to say, the first fight, he was outboxing Sugar Ray Leonard, and Sugar Ray Leonard had to be, I have to knock the guy out because he was losing. Yeah. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the second fight at super middleweight because somehow they called that a draw when Tommy Hearns won that fight. Mm-hmm. So you want to talk about horrendous judging? Hearns dropped Leonard twice in that fight. Twice. I'm positive of it. Those are 10-8 rounds. Do you know they gave Leonard 10-8 rounds in 2 rounds where he hurt Hearns? I'm not saying he didn't hurt Hearns, but you don't give 10-8 rounds for a guy being hurt. You just don't.
No, to do that, they have to really dominate the punch count prior to that happening.
So, now, Anthony, so we've talked about that. We're disappointed in Anthony Joshua. We don't know what's next for him. Usyk, the rematch most likely is not coming. We've talked about that. Let's get to, really quick, Glory Days Boxing. Flyweight set is out. I have it. Very fun set. Wonderful game. SidelineStrategies.com. And I know you're working, you're working on the college football, which you've been beta testing on your channel. So if anyone wants to check that out, go to Bleacher Bums Gaming and see. And that game, I like the interesting concept of that because you play, and I'll have you describe it better, but you can play the full game, play call for play call if you want, which is cool. I like that. I see a lot of these football games out there, and they're drive by drive. It's okay to me, right? Mm-hmm. But I kind of miss like making a play call. It's fun. And you have it where you can pick up the play calling whenever you want, and you can better describe it, Anthony.
Yeah, it's a hybrid system. So you could do play by play. You could let the dice call plays for you. You could call your own plays, and Cubs to Bears, what's up? Or you can simulate a portion of the drive, and basically that is done to speed the game up while still overall giving a fairly realistic total number of plays, yards, and outcomes. And it's done with similar to Glory Days Boxing, not the star system, which we started testing originally. It was just too cumbersome for the football game. So now it's an 11 to 66 system, which places the outcome either at a average to good column on the offense chart or a average to poor column on the other team's defensive chart. So, there's some uniqueness there, I think, that is different. And, again, it just lets you play your way. If you want to play the hybrid method, you can get through a game in an hour or less. If you go play by play, you're looking at an hour and a half, like a lot of.
Well, that's like with any play by play football game, even PC at times. I mean, it's just the other thing, you can take over in the red zone if you want. If the drive, you can take over whenever, so that's cool. I know you're working on last year's season, correct? That's going to be the initial release when you.
No, it'll be the current 2021 season. Okay. Last year's just for testing. It was just too much of a cluster.
Yeah. Oh, I know. So it's going to be okay. My faux pas. So it's going to be this college football season. Keith White's joined us. Thank you very much. Do you, once you get going with this, do you see any classic teams being like a set of classic teams, or is that something you're going to stick with modern?
My, I need 4 different websites to get the
Oh,
information I
it's tough
use
to
to
find
rate.
stuff for college football.
Yeah.
It's
So it depends on how far back, like the team offense, defensive ratings. I use the FEI ratings. I don't know how far back they go, so it'll be contingent on how far back I can get what I need. But I'd like to go back to the 70s if possible for a few seasons, and it would be complete seasons like that.
okay, cool. So, and again, that's later.
That'll be probably spring of 2022 after
Okay.
I'll be rating it. Once the season ends, I'll rate teams that don't make bowls, and then just work on that through the bowl season and hopefully have all that wrapped up early spring. And then,
And that's a much bigger task than boxers because you're doing one at a time, even though it's you have to find the thing with the boxers that makes it difficult. You can't just look at a record because you have to say, who did they fight? What are their quality wins? I was just talking with Nurse Teresa. She loves when I talk boxing and wrestling with her because she's sitting there going, I was just mentioning, I go, Jerry Cooney's always looked at it at a higher level than Jerry Coetzee, but yet Coetzee has better quality wins. He really does. But it's always the same way when you're doing it. Because he had that big moment with Larry Holmes. He fought fairly well, but he never beat anybody that he was, that would have, so.
And that's the tough. I mean, let's face it, Cooney could technically, anyone who can hit that
Can
hard
win.
Can technically beat anybody.
Absolutely.
Do they have the skill set to get that punch home? And even a lot of boxers that don't hit as hard, really, you get hurt more from a punch you don't see.
Yep.
You can take a hard right hand to the jaw, and if you see it, you can roll with it, take the impact away. Where a quicker punch, and a good example there would be when Manny Pacquiao knocked out Ricky Hatton.
Yeah,
he hit him with a quick check hook that Hatton never saw coming and starched him. So that comes into play too. So there's skill that factors in, not just raw power. But that's the toughest part about rating fighters is there's no completely objective way to do it.
I'd also like to say with the Glory Days boxing, I've always said it flows very nice. Card and dice, bring it to your tabletop as soon as possible. If you're a sports fan, especially if you're a boxing fan, it goes great with whatever box. It's just something to add. Okay, it's my favorite game, but it's not the only game I play. I play Title Bout PC. I play Title Bout Championship Boxing, and I play a couple other things. But I just want to show my original. I still have it.
Classic.
Yeah, I still have it. I haven't played it yet again because I just enjoy Glory Days a lot, but I might break it out and play a little bit.
Yeah, you need to get that on the channel. Do a Mel
It's tough because I have to reintroduce. It's funny because Title Bout 2 on the PC, fun game. They added a few things that I kind of like. But there's also another site, and I think someone told me about it, like Paper Boxing. It's actually that game, and it does. You just kind of click and read along.
Mm-hmm.
But it's someone provided them with cards, and it's a really basic version of Title Bout. But what I'm saying is one of my favorite sets, Anthony, besides everyone likes heavyweights, and they're always fun. But I love the featherweight set, and I like the tweener set, the junior
supplemental set.
Oh God, I love that. I have so much fun with that offline, and I'm going to have a card coming up. And I just need the time because I kind of liked when I did 3 fights. I'm not doing 3 fights again in a row because that's really long. I enjoyed it. I did it. I wanted to see if I could do it. I think it's an interesting matchup, and we got to go soon. I know for you. John L. Sullivan, Ken Norton, main event, 12 rounds. And then the co-main event, Barry McGuigan, Sandy Sadler, featherweight title on my channel. And I think those are fun matchups, and you get that through Glory Days Boxing. It's just fun.
Poor Barry.
Yeah, Sandy Sadler's a beast.
Yeah.
As I got older and read more about him, because Willie Pep's from he's from Hartford. I mean, that's literally right down there, not that far. So like when I read about it, like, well, he's from Hartford and he's an Italian and this and that. But the more I read about Sandy Sadler, I just like him a lot. He's a fierce fighter.
I mean, he was a fighter. I'm going to get a couple chat here. We're showing in
Which one do you want? I'll bring it up.
Go back. I think Clinton asked how our team was doing.
Yes. We were talking about that offline.
Yeah.
Here it is right here. Clinton Parks. Anthony, if you don't know, is a football coach, high school. How is your football team doing, Anthony? Clinton Parks.
We are 2-2, 2 blowout wins, 2 close losses. And like I was telling Al before the chat, basically our line play has been very Jekyll and Hyde-like in the first 4 games. So, getting that figured out and get some consistency. Hopefully we can finish a bit stronger. But yeah, it's been up and down, but still entertaining and fun.
Now, is the 2-2? I know you wish you were 4-0, but are you happy? Like, did you expect to be better than that, or is this where you thought you'd be at 2-2?
We had hoped to be at least 3-1, quite honestly. Our second game, which we lost 20-13, we led into the fourth quarter and turnovers, so that was a game I would expect to win. The game we lost yesterday, they played us the same. We scored 38 points on this team last year, and they played the exact same defense. They did it better, and our line didn't play as well. So again, we lost another grueling defensive battle.
So your game coming up this coming Friday, is it a winnable game in your opinion?
We'll win. I guarantee we'll win Friday.
Okay. So you'll be knock on wood, my head. You'll be 3-2.
Yeah.
We all hope for that. Anthony, I don't want your wife to get mad at you.
Oh, that's all right. There was one other question.
Oh, okay.
Todd had.
Todd?
Brian.
Brian?
It'll just be D1. I bet that's 130 teams. So I'm going to do all Division I teams, and really that is I've had a chore getting that formulated in terms of card size and cost with my printer, at least with the estimates, so hard to make it a price point I want. So I can't go beyond more than the 130 Division I teams, just basically for price point sake. So yeah, it would just be Division I.
Right, and Brian's question, if anyone's just listening and not watching, will it just be Division 1A FBS teams or Division 1 AA? And it's just going to be 1A. Again, because you have to, the price point, that's very important. Because again, Glory Days Boxing, the price point is outstanding for what you get. It's a tremendous game, and the price point, especially if you go PDF, but the cards are just marvelous. Listen. I got it right here. And I'm very happy. Where's my Tommy Hearns card I printed? I'm ecstatic. Middleweight Tommy Hearns. This is 110 stock, but still, I mean, that's me printing it on my own. This came with the flyweights, I think. Was this the flyweight?
Yeah, I'll put, because the PDFs, they're
a little bigger too.
Yeah, and it's 102 cards on the sheets.
Yeah. So you put,
and the sets are 100. So I always throw a couple of Easter.
Yeah, because there's this and another middleweight I can't remember, but yeah. So anything else?
That other middleweight is actually a relative of a customer of the game.
Really?
Yeah, his uncle was a middleweight boxer.
Cool.
He asked me to make a card, so I researched his uncle and made a card for him.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Facebook group page is growing. I just approved in the past day and a half. I've approved, I think 4 or 5 people. I mean, good people. Not like when you sit there and go, I don't know about this. It looks like they're trying to sell something here.
Who's your son play for, Frank? If you can throw that in the chat.
Oh. Someone put something in. Oh, Frank, right here, right there. Okay. Frank Winsock. My son plays D3.
There's some very good D3 programs out there. And a lot of the guys that go there have comparable skill level to D1. It's just the metrics, the measurables, the size, and, maybe a 10th slower in the 40 or whatnot. So still good players at that level. Very good.
Absolutely. Players. Absolutely. Great customer support with Glory Days Boxing.
Thank you, D. Scott. Mount St. Joe. Okay, cool. Wish him luck, and hopefully he's having a great season. And I got that order, Brian, and I'm going to send it out Monday, so he should have it by Wednesday or Thursday at the very latest.
The game is outstanding. And again, play the games you like. I love it. It's literally right here on my tabletop. That's why I can reach over and pull up cards. Because it doesn't mean you don't have to play other games or just like other games. I play all kinds of games. I just enjoy, because I've told this to Anthony. He's like, oh, don't say it again. When I was a kid, I tried to figure out how, and again, I never even knew there were more than 6-sided die when I was a kid. You know, I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons. I tried to figure out how to play this with 6-sided die because I hate card flipping. Doesn't mean I don't love this game. Look at the box. I played more tournaments with this game than you could shake a stick at. And it's a fun game. And there always been fun games.
I didn't, that was, I guess if we play board games, that's considered a nerdy thing, but as a teenager, I had no problem claiming my nerdom with title.
No.
When I was 16, I would play that with a friend of mine, and we'd play till the wee hours of the morning, drinking beer that we paid someone to buy for us.
Yeah. The cool thing about any game, sports related, we'll stick with boxing. The what if, and it's just for fun. It's for fun and discussion. Or you could do actual matchups. But it's just so much fun. Anthony, any last thoughts on whatever? Oh, I have a quick question because I wanted to ask this, but I've always wanted, even in prep. Did you ever, and if you did, just say yeah. Did you ever want to coach at any college level? Did you ever want to do that or no?
No. I've actually had opportunities, offers, but because to get into that, number one, my day job, I'm not a teacher.
Right. Yeah, I know.
So that doesn't necessarily affect you at college, but high school, it obviously has an impact with what you can do. But I had offers to coach junior college and small college ball. But again, I'd need to make that a living. And at that level, you can't make a living doing it. And at the time, when you're in your late 30s, when that first offer came, I can't walk away from my career, my day job. Coach football.
Okay. I was just curious because I wanted to ask you that before, and you might have told me. I just didn't.
And the other thing too, I mean, it's, Candy will tell you this, even as I get closer to stepping away completely from coaching, it's very hard on a coach's wife, even at the high school level. I spend all day today breaking down film and looking at film.
Yeah.
So you don't have time with your family during the season. And when you add on top of that, being a college coach where you're basically a nomad, you don't have guys like Nick Saban who stays at one spot for a long time. The majority of guys move a lot. So that's a lot to put a family through. So for that reason, as fun as it would have been, never really was a goal of mine.
So Brian asks, before you leave, Brian Patterson, why didn't Mancini and Arroyo ever fight? Because they hated each other and their camps hated each other. And they should have fought. And guess what? You know where they fought? On Glory Days Boxing on my channel. It was a lot of fun. Didn't come out the way I wanted. I think Arroyo won the first fight and the other one was a draw. I think they're both on the channel.
There was, there was a couple of fights like that for Boom Boom. Kenny Bogner was a match that would have been a great fight to watch, and injuries. And then there was, each Bogner's camp accused Mancini of backing out. But that would have been a fight I would have loved to see just because of the bad blood between those guys as well.
Yeah, but Arroyo and Mancini, and Arroyo, both Mancini and Arroyo seem very, again, I don't know them personally, but they both seem like nice guys. They did not like each other at all. Their camps didn't like each other. So it would have been they didn't have to fake the animosity. They didn't like each other. And they were from Ohio.
Yeah, two Youngstown fighters. They would have sold out big arenas there.
Yeah, you could have. I was just going to say, that's the closest thing to a mega domestic fight, because in the term in the UK or a domestic fight, like you can do well with this domestic. That would have been one of the closest things to, like, even if it wasn't a championship fight, hey, this, a domestic fight. But again, Mancini, with the way he fought, he had a limited lifespan as a boxer. He got all he could out of his talent. Limited, good, tough, decent, good talent, but not great. He got what he could out of his talent. And that's like with one of my other favorite fighters, Frank the Animal Fletcher. He was like one of my favorite guys to watch on TV, but he had a limited lifespan. And when he was done, I felt bad because he took fights, and you're like, I remember I didn't see it live because I didn't have the ability to see it live. But when Juan Domingo Roldan knocked him out, I was like, I thought for sure, because who the hell is Juan Domingo Roldan? I didn't know who he was. I look at my boxing magazine. Somehow this guy from Argentina is ranked blah, blah. Okay, who'd he fight? Okay, that's one decent guy. And then he just blitzed him. And again, to come to find out, Juan Roldan was a solid middleweight.
Great,
the
right?
Mugambi fight was brutal to watch on TV. I saw that one. I was like, oh boy. But yeah, Anthony, thank you very much, my friend.
I appreciate it. It was fun breaking down that fight. And again, like you, disappointed in the performance, but you got to give Usyk credit. He had a great game plan. He was quicker than Joshua, better ring generalship, and he earned the victory.
He controlled everything. He dictated the pace. He threw when he wanted to throw. Joshua thought way too much. Dancing by numbers, painting by numbers, the way I describe it.
Joshua, he struggles. I mean, this is the second time he struggles with fighters that have hand speed. And Andy Ruiz, despite his appearance, has great hand speed for a heavyweight.
I mentioned that. I mentioned that. Thank you, D. Scott. I mentioned that even though Ruiz even if he's horribly out of shape, he knows how to fight. And if he has an opportunity on the inside while he still can throw punch, he's extremely dangerous. Yeah, it'd be interesting. And he doesn't have to be body beautiful, but you can't be like that. Joe Hip was not body beautiful. I'm not comparing Joe Hip to Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz is much better. But Joe Hip could fight. He didn't have to be he's 238, but that's what he looked like. And he was strong. He was out of Washington State. D. Scott Howard, I guarantee D. Scott Howard remembers Joe Hip.
Oh, yeah.
Capable heavyweight.
Fought with a knee brace just because it was comforting to him, even though he didn't need it.
Yep.
But the other thing, too, sometimes when you don't have that muscle mass, it helps your hand. I mean, muscle mass kind of slows your hand speed down a little bit.
The other thing I was also telling, obviously boxers are always in good shape in whatever era. They're probably the best shaped athletes of any era because you had to be in shape. There's no half-ass in it if you're a top-notch fighter. I mean, maybe you didn't train, that's your problem. But I mean, you so they actually did, I'm not going to say weight work, but, push-ups, pull-up, a little more muscle. But they never wanted, Anthony, they wanted the lean, that's not the right word, long muscle or whatever. Joshua has more of the muscle tone, so you could see when he gets fatigued, and a lot of it had to do with Usyk, but it's just disappointing effort. I actually felt bad. I felt bad for the fans, really. And I felt bad for him. I'm like, geez, all these fans come to root for you, and man, did this guy put a.
Hey, and real quick, because I didn't see it because I was doing other stuff. Who won the
Hatton's kid won.
Who?
Ricky Hatton's son won, but I think it was controversial.
No, the other fight, the Marco. You know what I'm talking about?
I picked up that from the Hatton fight, and then I watched the I didn't see. Smith knocked out somebody from Spain. Caleb, and I guess he hurt him bad. Okoli defeated beautiful left hook to the body. That was all over with him. In that fight, Anthony, Persovac or whatever, the guy from Montenegro, he all he did was try to leap in with a left hook, right? And then he tried to throw a little more punches, and then Okoli, who I like a lot, he hit him with a right hand, and he kind of just grazed him. But when you get that, you see a fighter get that look, and he's like, wow, this guy can hit. He wanted, the fight was over then. He dropped him in the second, and then he missed with a right hand. He hit him. You could hear it. He hit him with a left hook in the rib cage, and the guy went down for the 10 count. Who else? So I think Caleb Smith, I can't remember. He won by knockout, like I said, over, I think, a Spanish fighter. Ricky Hatton's son won by decision. I guess it was controversial. 6-rounder, I think that was. Okoli kept his WBO cruiserweight title via knockout, and then we saw Anthony Joshua lose to
God, there was one other fight on that card though.
I bet you it was the first one then. And I don't know who won that. The first fight was a decision. That I remembered seeing something about that. So
it's not coming to me. Hold on one sec. I gotta see if I can find it.
Frank Wayne Scott says, "Thank you for coaching those young men. Coaches are so important." Yes, they are. Good coaches are very important.
You know what? And that's, I mean, honestly, it's such a rewarding thing. And
Anthony, it's not even just coaching football. Sometimes you're helping coaching life lessons.
Well, like we've talked with where I'm at now is an inner city school that's never had success. And it's been probably my most enjoyable stop in 30-something years because, I've evolved as a coach and a person where when I was a young coach in my 20s, it's, I wanted to show everything I knew about the game and this and that. And you evolve and you learn it's about so much more than that. So now as, I'm approaching 60, it's, I have
60. You look great.
Of building young men now, so, but it's an honor. It's a privilege. And for parents to trust us with the lives of their young males or their young student athletes, very, very rewarding and appreciate that too.
Let me look real quick. Because I have the zone. Let me just go back and hopefully no audio comes on or I'm going to get hosed. Fight schedule. Let me go there. Actually, let me do ESPN there.
That's what I was looking at.
You didn't see it? Because if I go to the other one, I click on it, sound's going to come on, and I know that. ESPN. Quickly, Anthony, what are your thoughts on Canelo Alvarez leaving that huge contract as he split with Golden Boy and the Zone? No longer will he have that $326 million 11-fight deal.
I think, I can't find that fight I was looking at, so I'll just have to find that later.
Okay.
I think Canelo, I mean, he's kind of the face of the sport right now, honestly, because he's active. He is obviously talented and got a great following, especially in the U.S. and Mexico, obviously. And, I think he thinks he can write his own deal, and he's probably, probably not incorrect there.
The one thing I don't know if Golden Boy and DAZN aren't a little happy about not having to pay him that money. They lost a huge ticket. Now, the only thing that might even hurt them more are the fighters he's friendly with who are still like under contract with them. Maybe they jump ship at some point and go wherever he goes. But
and part of it is a little bit of I guess arrogance on his team's part as well. I mean, he is the biggest thing in the sport, but be careful, don't burn bridges. That's always a smart thing to do, especially in boxing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So,
but he's going to be fine because he's active. He fights top guys, and the Caleb Plant fight is interesting. They had a very contentious.
Saw that. Touch quickly.
I think Plant will give him problems early with his boxing ability, similar to what happened in his last fight.
Billy Joe Saunders. Yep.
Saunders. I see him eventually catching up to Plant, stopping him too.
Because I remember someone was talking about the Canelo card. I believe it's for Glory Days Boxing. Well, he doesn't land enough.
Yeah.
Canelo doesn't throw a lot of punches.
And I answered that in the forum, but I'll answer it here too. It's his card was rated over 2 years ago now.
Right. That's the other thing. But
he was
really
coming off the Triple G fights and then a nondescript fight, and he didn't have high punch output. He's very efficient, and he's gotten better at his output in the recent fights. So he will get a re-rate probably in the next, definitely in the next.
But even now, he still doesn't. He throws hellaciously hard.
Yeah.
I mean, Like what he did to Billy Joe Saunders when he clipped him on the eye, I was like, oh my, he's done.
He is a devastating puncher. He's not a volume puncher.
No.
Some guys will touch you, and then crack you.
Yep.
You know,
he doesn't do that.
He tries to crack you every time, and you can't throw a high volume of punches with that much bad intent because you will fatigue.
Now, when he has you hurt, he'll take you out. That's when he opens up.
Yeah.
Now, Caleb Plant, not a big puncher. I agree with you. I think he's going to give him trouble. I just don't think he has anything to get his attention, to sit there and go, oh, I got to worry about this.
No, right now, the most dangerous fight for Canelo is probably if he goes up to light heavyweight again is Beterbiev.
Yeah.
Because he has one punch power. Stylistically, though, Beterbiev kind of plays into Canelo's hands because he's a very straight up, old school Eastern European style fighter.
Not a lot of he can be there to be hit.
He comes at you and he walks you down just to throw that big right hand, And I think Canelo will be able to basically outbox him even, and then eventually.
Well, do you see that similar to when he took out AK? Oh God, the Russian. I could see him. I can't think of his name. The light heavyweight where he broke him down and knocked him out. I was in shock how he devastated him. They used to call him the AKA 47.
Kovalev.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and Kovalev was at the tail end of his career. Might have been a better fight 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But so that actually to me was a safe fight for Canelo because Kovalev, especially after the Andre Ward fight, has slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, so, very well done by the promotional team there. Before Anthony goes, RJL518 says, "Hey Anthony, when will you release the beta for college football game?"
Probably pretty quick. I'm going to do some work on a freebie for the boxing game on Cornerman, get that out, and then I'll go through and add some more instructions, not full instructions, but do a better job of a flow chart for the football game and expand the beta at that point. And, hopefully get some more testing results there.
My last question, Glory Days boxing wise, when you get back around after the college football, are you going to do some re-rating, or are you going to do more of the junior kind of set fighters? I like that a lot. There's so many.
I think that was I thought that was a fun set, and it was fun to rate because I was bouncing around.
Good fighters.
Yeah, and
fun.
All top level guys.
Yeah, too. And I like that. I guess some people like to have like I like to have. It was fun to see Mel Turnbull because I knew him from, Title Bout. And again, Chuck Wepner. I think Chuck Wepner fought for the title, was a top 10, but he was. It's fun to have, but it's fun. To me personally, I don't need to redo someone's career. I know what the hell they really did. Again, if someone wants to do that, you have the tomato can set, which someone actually did a tournament on, and they posted it a while back on Facebook, and that was actually fun. I was like, man, I might do that just for that seemed fun. You don't know who the hell's going to win those fights, but
yeah. Anyway. So no, the next set it'll be the same. It'll be a supplement set. There will be some re-rates. Canelo will be one just off the top of my head. Josh Warrington is actually going to be downgraded a little bit after his last fight. And that's the downside with rating active fighters, especially with the frequency they fight. It's, well, what about this guy now? Why is he rated like this when he's did this his last fight? Well,
I always say this about anything, especially a boxing, when people bring up, if you're rating active fighters, they could lose next week when they fight, or they could have a tremendous victory, but the card's already out. If you want, adjust it yourself. I just play with what it is. It is what it is. I don't, sometimes you might think, oh, that guy has a better chin or vice versa. Just enjoy. Hey, no one says you can't change it, but it's tough to rate active fighters because you might think something's a quality win, and then that guy who was a quality win gets destroyed his next 3 fights, and the other guy loses. So you got to take everything. It's fun.
And it really are. Fighters are so protected these days. I mean, and I'll give it out, and that's why I'm not necessarily a fan of him and his father's actions all the time.
Lopez,
a big fan of Teofimo Lopez because he takes on the best. I mean, he went after Lomachenko.
Yeah,
you know,
and he got a tough fight. The kid from Australia is not a bad fighter. I think he takes that fight.
Yeah, he'll beat Kambusa, but I think Lopez is a generational talent. I really
like
do.
him a lot.
Cut all that other stuff out. He's a great fighter.
Again, he could lose his next fight. I don't know. I don't think so. There's something about him that I like much better than Garcia, Ryan Garcia. There's a phoniness to him. Not that he's a bad person. It's just it's a shtick. And like, okay, I get it. I get it.
Lopez, he's kind of like the Diaz brothers in MMA. They're overbearing and they're crude and street, but they're real. There's no phoniness with it.
And I give him credit for the father. The father is that was one of the best interviews. And again, it's annoying, obnoxious. I mean, when he was talking about he's going to wait how many rounds to figure my son out. We're going to be beating the hell out of him by that time. You keep figuring it out. I'm paraphrasing. He used some other colorful language, but he's
But I think Tank Davis is another fighter. He doesn't really shy away from people. So there's some good young fighters that kind of have an old school mentality, but it's just a matter of not eventually getting corrupted by the wait and play game with that big payday and whatnot.
One more question, I swear. What are your thoughts on Eddie Hearn? I think he's done a good thing for boxing he's done, to me, I think he's a good promoter. He puts on good fight cards. I like his fight cards.
He puts on good cards. I think he, more than many promoters, really genuinely cares about his guys too. I do.
That's my impression. Mm-hmm. And I think he loves the sport. Bob Arum always annoyed me because even that, like he'll say now, like, it's just money, like he'll mention things. You made your money on this, Well,
it's when I don't know if you saw when Muhammad Ali's grandson fought and Arum made a big deal of it in the ring. The kid is not his grandfather, but he does have some skill. He wore Ali's trunks from a fight back in the 60s. But you could tell Arum was so patronizing after the fight, and just looking at him like he's a cash cow. And
the thing I never liked about Bob Arum's promotions, because I used to watch a lot of ESPN fights back in the day, and they were Bob Arum promotions, and his fighters were always a top-notch guy. They're being built up. Listen, when your guy loses, I hated that. That's the one thing I've always hated about boxing. I've watched guys just because they have the affiliation with the promoter, all of a sudden they get that mystery decision victory. And that annoyed me. It happened a lot on ESPN with Bob Arum fighters. And that pissed me off no end. And I haven't liked him since. And I never liked him before. So, anyhow, that's all I got to say. Anthony, thank you very much. Glory Days Boxing, SidelineStrategies.com. Every every regular weight class and a supplemental set of junior classes is out there. Check it out. There are plenty of people who have streamed it. The game flows marvelously. If you want to get the PDFs, they're $6, I believe, right? $6. But, and it's well worth it. The card set, they're a knockout. Look at the beauty of this card set. This is Sandy Sadler, who's become one of my all-time favorite fighters. And this is...
Can I tell you something about the card stock?
Yes.
Because that was an accident.
I don't care.
When I first,
I know, I remember you telling.
Yeah, when I first ordered the game, I asked for 110, and he put it on 130, and I'm like, God, this is the thickest 110 I've ever seen in my life. I didn't say anything, and then I got a next set that was on thinner stock, and I'm like, hey, how come these aren't as thick? And he's like, oh, I might have used 130, and I asked him like, well, God, my customers really like the thicker cards. What's the price difference? And he's like, you know what? It'll be the same cost. So I managed to. It's
funny you said that because this is 110. I printed up because Tommy Hearns was on the PDF, and it's still good. But yeah, your card stock's the best. And the other, it's just a colorful card. The game's easy to understand. I love it. I highly recommend it. So, SidelineStrategies.com. Glory Days Boxing. We're payoff.
Appreciate it, my friend, and thanks to everyone in the chat. And one more anecdote. I told Candy, I go, I'll be done by 6:30. And she goes, no, we'll be eating at 7. Guess what time it is?
You go eat. I'm going to stay a little bit longer in the chat. Thank you very much, Anthony. So I'm going to catch up with some folks and see what their projects are. Thank you,
All
Anthony,
right.
so much. Take care. God bless.
Have a good
Anthony
night, my
Crooks,
friend.
Glory Days Boxing. Check it out. Support a wonderful human being, Anthony Crooks. And it's a
Appreciate
fabulous
it.
game.
Have a good night, guys.
You too. Thank you. All right. All right. I'm going to stay just for a little bit longer. Not much longer because the dog is over here. And what's going on with everyone in the chat? First, we have our good friend Chris from Tabletop Delaware. And Chris has really fun. He has drive-alongs with Chris. They're fun. Catch those. RJL518. Our good friend Rob. He's got some military strategy on the channel now, as well as, of course, he's going to be coming back with Inside Pitch Baseball. G Puck, thank you very much for joining us. D. Scott Howard, the Goat Whisperer. What's a chat without D. Scott Howard? Again, I'm just going through and saying thank you to everyone who spent time with us. I greatly appreciate that. How do I do this where I go like this? That doesn't work. What about this? That doesn't work. What about this? That doesn't work. You need two people to get those things going. All right. Anyhow, continue to scroll up. Our good friend Matt, Steeler fan, 1933. Thank you for joining us. Frank Wayne Scott, thank you very much. And again, feel free to share what your projects. What are your projects? Stay on for about 5 to 10 more minutes. Would love to discuss your sports sim gaming projects. Brian Patterson, thank you. One of them is definitely on the channel, Arroyo and Mancini. One of them's definitely on. I think the other one I might have done offline and just posted it. But Mancini lost the first one and a draw in the second one. But yeah, fun fights. Very evenly matched using Glory Days Boxing. And again, I have Glory Days Boxing, which is my favorite, but I have Title Bout 2 on the PC. I have the original Title Bout. I have Title Bout Championship Boxing, which is on PC. It's a pure text thing, and your little guys whack each other. They never updated that game. It's too bad. They should have gave you the ability to change the trunks and stuff, and that would have been. They said they were going to update it and it just fell apart in 2013. So thank you, and of course we had the Great White Shark, the Cubs, the Bears. Thank you very much, Todd B. Thank you. As he says, I have the original Title Bout game too. Bought it for $3 at a flea market. Complete. Sweet. Fun game. Keith White, thank you. Clinton Parks, thank you. I think we have every. Oh, Dave Gardner was here. He showcased the new Stratomatic Hockey, which is not very new at all. They did add some ratings charts, which seemed cool. Again, they should, if they don't want to do, I agree with Dave, they don't, it's still the same look and stuff, but it's card and dice. That's right. But they should make it, they have all this room. They should make it bigger, stretch it out. It's tough to see. They should do that. Alan Berry, thank you. Our good friend MV, aka Mouse in the House. Sports Time Machine. Check out that wonderful YouTube channel. And there's everybody. All right, let's go down to the bottom of the chat. I'm itching to do another replay basketball project, Todd B says. Cool. Cool. D. Scott Howard. I'm doing the 1967 Rams replay with Pro Strategy Football 2022. Absolutely fun game. Super Bowl tournament was in the chat too. I saw him. When I saw that. So thank you to Super Bowl tournament. He's a mod creator for Pro Strategy Football 2022. And the new season, the 2021 season, is available on the mod site. And guess what the seasons cost? Free. And you can purchase Pro Strategy Football 2022 on Steam with tax in the US for just over $20. Every season created by the mod community, free. Free every season, including this season. So it's a lot of fun. I like that game. It's a hell of a fun game. And I recommend it to go with games you like. Now, if you don't like the game, don't buy it. But It's a fun to see the uniforms and watch the little guys run after you do a play call. I like to play on expert because I like to be more specific with my play calling. But you can play on not easy mode. That's not it. But we just say run or pass, and it does it for you. Or you can just watch the games. The joy of it is to see the uniforms. To me, the game plays result-wise. The game plays realistic. Play calling, I can see people say, well, they wouldn't have ran that play. Well, it's a game. Nothing's perfect, and it's fun. Frank Wayne Scott, 1976, replay using second season football. Cool. 76 is a great football season. Brian Patterson, still working through my Sons of Ohio fight card. That's the one that you did. You did that nice poster, right? In the Glory Days Facebook page group. Cool. Smelly Wrestling Geek. Super Bowl should really offer a way to donate for his time he puts into all of. Well, it's him, and it's also there's another mod season creator. I'm trying to get them all on my channel with Carrie Batts. I'm going to email them again. We had them on last year. It was well to talk about the game. And the game's a fun game. It's improved each year, and it's much better than it was last year. I recommend the game for just over $20, and every mod season is free. And Brian says correct. That is, you did a great job on that. I love it. Again, I'm going to have coming up on my channel, Glory Days Boxing. Sometimes it's difficult for me to do card and dice now with the cats. The cats like to jump on stuff. We're going to have Sandy Sadler, Barry McGuigan, 15 rounds, featherweight championship of my channel. And that's the co-main event with, and I wanted to try to get it off this week, but I don't think that's happening. It will be this coming week. I have to just set up the stuff. And then we have, I think, an interesting 12-round heavyweight fight. John L. Sullivan. This is supposed to, okay, it finally did autofocus. John L. Sullivan, Kenny Norton. Obviously, Sullivan will have a puncher's chance. That should be an interesting fight. That's 12 rounds. Winner might have a crack at Rocky Marciano, who's my champion on the channel. So, Todd B says, Brian, are you located in Ohio? He also says, cats love dice too. Watch out. Oh my God. That's why I've been playing more PC stuff. And I'm going to have to, we're going to end this shortly because I have to see if Puppy here. Sleeping. Puppy's sleeping. My puppy's she's a year and a half old. Pit bull mix. Wonderful dog. Don't break into my house. You'll regret it. But so smart. So they have these chew toys for dogs, Kongs or something like that. They're supposed to be indestructible. This dog just destroys them. It's hilarious. She bites into them and rips them apart to get the squeaky toy. It's like watching Operation, the game, and she just works her way to the squeaky toy, and you have to take it away from her before she eats it. Anyway, she's a good dog. Brian Patterson to Todd B. Pennsylvania, grew up in Youngstown and has family there still. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the chat. It was a lot of fun. Remember to check out the other wonderful YouTube content creators in our community. Support them. You know what they like the best? If you're enjoying the stream, I'm not talking about my streams. If you're enjoying a stream from one of our content creators or anywhere else, but one of our content creators in our community, smack the like button. It makes them feel good. If they're providing you entertainment and you're enjoying it, I know I listen to a lot of stuff when I'm actually playing games or setting up for a new project. Right now, my big thing is finding 1984 college football pictures to go with my 2nd and 10 project. We've had 2 games up on the channel. One really good, and one I got the snot kicked out of me. So, but yeah, hit that like button for the content creators, especially in our community. You know, when you come out and you do this or you upload stuff, you know, you're going to get some ridicule. Oh, you pronounced the name wrong. Oh, they wouldn't have done that right. Does that make people feel, you know, does it make you happy? I'm not talking about people in this chat. I'm saying other people. You know, they have a right to say that, but really, does it make you happy? You know, if you don't like what someone's doing, do it yourself and show it and say, this is the way I play it. Because there's no right way or wrong way to play anything. None whatsoever. It's easy to criticize people, though. It really is. So, anyhow, again, thank you to everyone. I greatly appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed it. Want to thank Anthony Crooks, Bleacher Bums Gaming. Glory Days Boxing can be purchased on SidelineStrategies.com. Be on the lookout. Coming sooner than you think. Glory Days College Football. And I'll be on the modern football season this football season in college. And that's going to be out sometime next year. I think he said spring. So, Steeler Fan 1933. It really frustrates me when I am in a chat with like 6 content creators and the stream I'm watching has 2 likes. That does happen. Listen, you should hit the like button. If you're sitting in there and you're enjoying the stream, if you don't like the stream, leave, right? You don't have to hit thumbs down if you want to. On mine, I don't care. Go ahead. But if you're enjoying the stream, right, with my other fellow community members, hit the like button. You don't know how much that means to them. Most people aren't even monetized. I just got monetized. And guess what? The little money that I'm actually got paid finally, I spent way more than that. And for my hobby, which I enjoy, I love this hobby. I love entertaining. I love bringing What If Sports. And sometimes my streams aren't for everybody. They're long. I don't do short streams. It's not me. You like short streams? That's not my channel. I like what ifs. I like if there's a DH in both leagues in 1967. And you know what? We got similar results. But, you know, we're going to have a stream on that. We're going to go through to see how much of a difference it makes. The other what if that I want to do, DH in 1968, year of the pitcher. Would it make a big difference? These are things I think about, what I like. If you want to play as played, that's cool. I don't normally play as played. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I like to wonder, man, what if they had a DH? What if Tony Conigliaro did play in the World Series? I know what happened when he didn't. And I've played that 1967 Red Sox World Series in a lot of different things. And I finally won one. I was happy. Does it change anything? No, but it's fun. They're games. They're games. No right way, no wrong way. Play it your way. Another fine content creator in our community, Wardrobe, plays World War II, our good friend Todd. Military strategy and an occasional sports game. It was soccer. I saw it. He played with his son. And he also did Play.com soccer game, which I can't think of right now. But he did it, and it was, you know how I remember? Because it was the Cosmos with Pele and Canalia. I love that team. So, as Todd B says, I'm a what if guy 100%. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Soccer Blast, yes. You know, I keep looking at that game. Someday I got to pull the trigger. Thank you, Steeler fan, a.k.a. Matt. Thank you for everyone. I'm signing off. Nurse Teresa will be heading home soon. Hopefully her son, Zach, plays semi-pro football. They're in the championship game, and I hope they won it. And that way, if they win the B championship, they get to play the A champions. And if they win that, they can move up next year. So thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Dice United. Fun game. I played a bit of that. Though that's from Mountain Press, and the store is still closed, I think, because they're redoing the website. But yeah, that's a fun game. That's one of those quicker play games I really enjoy. I put it on the channel once because I quick play games, even with me, I go slow. I like to visualize and stuff. So, but fun game. I like Dice United. Thank you very much. Stay safe, be smart, treat people the way you want to be treated. Check out all the other wonderful YouTube content creators in our community. Hit the like button for those folks. Show them the love. It's important because you got to get negativity out of our community negativity out of our lives. And nothing's always happy-go-lucky, but when it comes to your hobby, it should always be happy-go-lucky. So thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless. Thank you to Anthony Crooks, Bleacher Brums Gaming. Another shameless plug on my part for Glory Days Boxing and for a fine gentleman, Anthony Crooks. It is a wonderful game. And there's going to be some Glory Days Boxing coming up on the channel, as well as some Pine Tar Baseball. Got to figure out what I want to do there. And I think what I'm going to do with Pine Tar Baseball, I'm going to play Red Sox teams against everybody else because that's what I enjoy. So, thank you. Health, happiness, stay safe. God bless. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Greatly appreciate your time. It was awesome. I love spending time with you. Spend time with the other YouTube content creators. Smack those like buttons for them. You know what's coming, folks. Peace! Love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.